I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. I have with me today a really incredible young woman. She's a Bret Hart High School student. Her name is Savanna Wittman. And Savanna participated in a contest for the VFW, a scholarship contest. And she went through the ranks, kicking butt the whole way with her speech. I'm going to have her read that to you in a bit. And the speech that she wrote turned into another project that you're going to hear about in just a bit. But I'm excited to introduce you all to her. This is Savanna Wittman. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, my gosh. So how did you hear about this scholarship opportunity in the first place? It was a VFW. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Veterans of Foreign War put it on. And I heard about it through my teacher, Jennifer Truman, my history teacher, actually, last year.
Okay.
And she had told our entire class about the competition and encouraged a lot of us to enter. And I had actually entered it the year before, last year, not 2 years ago, sorry.
That's right.
And I'd entered before, and so it was a really wonderful experience the first time.
Yeah.
And
what made it wonderful? Is it sometimes my daughter's gone through college, and I know she applied for different scholarships. Sometimes she would send something in and never hear anything back, or I don't know. What made this different?
Well, at the first time I had entered, I got a call probably a couple months later, and they told me I had won, and they were just really excited about it, and they were very proud, and because it's a speech that you give, and it's vocal, and so you really kind of hear the passion for the things you're talking about.
So you actually went and didn't just write the speech and send it in, you went and you read your speech to them?
No, you record it.
You record it, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not the local VFW? Or does it start out as the local?
It does start out locally.
Okay, so it just keeps growing this way. Alrighty. Sorry about that. I'm trying to picture it all. So
no, it's kind of complicated.
Okay. So you recorded it, you sent it, and they called you and told you that you won. Mm-hmm. How incredible. And then what happened after that?
Well, after I found out I'd won locally, they told me I'd be going to state. And the state competition is in Sacramento.
Okay.
And so kids from all 13 districts, I think is what it is, go over there and you do tours of the Capitol and
neat.
Stuff like that. And you find out, obviously, what you place. And from there you go to nationals in Washington, D.C.
Wow. One person is chosen from?
Each state. From each state.
Okay. That's awesome. Did you expect anything like this to happen? Did you feel it when you were writing this that I think I've got this?
Well, no, I was very passionate about it, and it was definitely a personal topic this year. I'm sure, my parents read it, and they were like, oh, this is going to win. But,
right.
I mean, I had no idea.
You're like, your parents, you're supposed to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is so neat. So tell me what your speech is about and what it was that inspired you.
All right, so the topic, they have a topic each year.
Okay.
And it was my responsibility to America. And what I chose to write about was my grandfather, who passed away last year, and he served in the military, and also my older brother. He's going into the armed forces also as well.
What are their names? What's your grandpa's name?
My grandpa's name is Raymond Wittman, but everyone called him Bud.
Cool.
And then my older brother's name is Nicholas.
Okay. Very cool. That's so neat to have a family involved in all of that.
Yeah.
My husband's family is the same way. It's incredible. So your brother must be really, really proud of you for doing this too, and I'm sure your grandpa is also. So my responsibility. What did that make you think of when you read that title?
Well, it definitely made me think of the heart of service that embodies a lot of the people who do serve in the armed forces, and it definitely made me think of my grandfather and the things that he'd shared with me about his life.
Yeah. Did he talk to you much about his life in the military?
Surprisingly, not as much,
right.
But I think it's sometimes hard for some people to talk about it.
It is. That's why I was curious, because I have one grandfather who was in the military during World War II. He never talked about any of it at all. And now he's gone, and it's so sad because most of his stories are gone with him. None of us ever knew anything about that, really. But I love that you know a bit about your grandfather and the history. And hopefully your brother, you guys are close, and he'll be able to tell you about his own experiences himself. But so you just felt this, and you knew where you wanted to go with it. And did you have to do 1,000 different drafts of it? Did it flow? How did that go?
Oh no, it was a mess in the beginning, but I'd had some ideas. I think a couple months after he had passed away, and I knew the competition was coming up.
Yeah.
And it was kind of muddled at first, and then one night I was just sitting at the kitchen table, like staring at this essay that I'd created, and I had this like idea to kind of shift some things around, and it worked perfectly, and it ended up like making the entire thing what it was.
Oh, that's so great. Did it have to be a certain length?
Yeah, the limit is 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time for a speech. Oh, my Lord. I couldn't imagine doing anything like that now. For sure, when I was in my high school, forget it. Forget it. Yeah. That's incredible that you did this. Did you share it with your teacher before you went and sent it in? Mm-hmm. You said you shared it with your parents.
Yes.
But did your teacher have a look over?
I gave her the final draft, I think, the day before I turned it in.
Really? The day before?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Oh, she loved it, and she was very encouraging, and then I turned it in the next day, and we were like, oh, well, like, we'll see what happens.
Wow. Wow. And then how long did it take for you to hear back this time?
I think I heard about it, I want to say late December or early January is when they called me and told me about the state level.
Wow. Okay, and the exact same speech went from one competition to the next one with no changes. Mm-hmm. It was what it was. And you were just like, oh, I hope this works. That's so neat. When you heard some of the other speeches, or were you allowed to hear the other speeches?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of the kids, I mean, it isn't, only the winner at the state level gives their speech, but a lot of the kids are very forthcoming and like to practice beforehand or talk about it.
Sure. What did you think about theirs? Did some of them really... not inspire you, impress you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people when you go to competitions like that, you kind of feel like, oh, this person's gonna win. Like they really put their heart and soul into it. I mean, everyone does.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different views and opinions out there.
I was curious. I wonder what happens with their speeches if they didn't get to go on, but they were still so amazing that they made it to a certain level. I hope that they are used somewhere or printed somewhere. I mean, this subject is so important, and it
definitely
should be shared in every way. Who knows what's going to click with whom, And so anyway, I'm so impressed by this because it's something I cannot do. I
didn't know I could do it. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, golly. Well, you did it, girlfriend. I'm dying to hear your speech. Is there anything else that we should know about the background of it before you read it to us?
I don't think so. I think I covered everything.
Okay. Oh, wait. I didn't even ask you, what was the scholarship amount?
Oh, it was $30,000.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
$30,000. Mm-hmm. Whoa. I'm in shock.
I was in shock.
That is awesome. Mm-hmm. And you only got that if you went all the way to the very...
Yes.
Were there smaller amounts as you built it up? Okay.
Out of the 52 kids that were there, actually, it starts from, I think, about 1,000, and they just travel up with different scholarships. Okay. So, I mean, the winner obviously gets the most, but everyone gets something, which I think is another great thing about their program.
Okay. Just curious, do you win something at the local level, and then you win something else at the state, and then something else when it goes national? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's neat. I hope that more kids give it a try. If they're intimidated to try, like you didn't think that you were going to go this far. I hope that the kids have the guts to just give it a go.
Yeah,
I've been trying to lose,
Yeah, I've been trying to encourage a lot of kids at my school, that are younger and can still enter about it.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, obviously you're such a bright girl, and they would know that, and maybe they wouldn't think that they could even touch that, themselves. But at the same time, you're a local girl, and you did something so huge. That's awesome. I'm just glad you're here. That's so awesome. I know that everyone's just dying to hear your speech. Will you read it for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so it's entitled My Responsibility to America. It's a cool summer morning, and the sun breaks over the hills as I watch men and women in uniform fold an American flag that adorned the casket of my grandfather. I listen. as the VFW Patriots explain what each fold of Old Glory represents. I cry as they hand her over to my older brother in full uniform, a moment that will forever change my life. I watch as my brother presents the stars and stripes in her folded perfection to my grandmother as he utters the words, "This flag is presented on behalf of a grateful nation as a token of appreciation for your husband's honorable and faithful service." Yes, this moment changed my life. I realized at this moment that what makes this country great is the heart of service that embodies so many men and women. In essence, a servant's heart. Personally, I now understand that my responsibility to America is to develop this servant's heart. My grandfather himself served our nation for 20 years, and my brother continues this tradition of service. There is probably no greater quote about service than that of President John F. Kennedy, who stated, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." This quote challenges our current national culture of entitlement. We have become selfish and need to return to being selfless. It is the selfless acts of service from our veterans that have given us the freedoms we take for granted today. It is the servant's heart of our veterans that stained the beaches of Normandy, the jungles of Vietnam, and the sands of Iraq blood red. So how can I serve this great nation? First, I must never forget the sacrifices made by our veterans. As it is said, all gave some, and some gave all. The sacrifices our veterans have made must never, ever be forgotten. It must be written into the hearts of every American. Their selfless acts of courage have forever changed the world. They defeated evil and secured the blessings of freedom for my generation and generations to come. I must be that voice of democracy that reminds my friends, teaches my children, and speaks to the world that our nation stands tall because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Men and women who lived a life of sacrifice and service to the greatest nation. Secondly, I must take my responsibility to vote seriously. This has never been more poignant than this past election year. In a world of spin and deception, it is incumbent on each of us to understand the issues and know the candidates like never before. I must recognize that my individual vote came at a great price. I can serve by encouraging others to take part in our democracy. Our republic is strong because our forefathers created the greatest document of governance the world has ever seen, the Constitution. I must speak out to defend it and educate my countrymen on what makes our nation so great. I must fight for truth, on which the blessings of liberty flow. Lastly, I must serve others. Jesus said in Mark 9:35, "If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all." Christ was the epitome of a servant leader. I must follow his example, that if I want to lead, I must first serve. This is the bedrock of our Constitution, the foundation upon which our nation stands. Our leaders must be servant leaders, with a heart of humility and a desire to put others first. The moment seems frozen in time. Tears stream down my face as I watch my grandmother receive our folded American flag. I listen as 7 men discharge their rifles 3 times. My heart pounds as I hear a familiar sound from off in the distance. A patriot from under an old oak tree plays taps. Thank you, grandfather, for teaching me about a servant's heart and my responsibility to America.
Wow. I'm going to cry. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
How did you do this without crying?
I definitely cried.
Do you? Yeah. You had to read that so many times to I mean, the way you do it is beautiful. You wrote it, you're performing it. There's so many different things that go into doing something like this, and you did it beautifully, honey.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. So, who at the end was it that you read this in front of? Was it a huge room full of people? Was it just you and a committee? Or when you did this at the national level?
Oh, no, there was a lot of people there.
A lot?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What did you say to yourself as you were going into this?
Oh, I have no idea. I think I was pretty shocked, and I think I was crying, so
Yeah.
I think I was like, okay, deep breaths.
Yeah. I bet there were a lot of tears in that room as you read it and as you finished. Yeah. Oh, I bet Mom and Dad were bawling. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, my God. I love all the different aspects that you brought into your speech there. Things I never would have thought of, but as you're reading them and I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, yeah, you are right on. You're so right on. You touched so many important points. It's beautiful. I'm not even sure how much time we have left, but I know from this project, and you felt so blessed to be given, you earned it, but to be given that scholarship money, and you wanted to thank the veterans of foreign wars and maybe not repay them, that's probably the wrong word, but
give back.
You wanted to give back to them. And tell us what you did.
Well, for our school, we have a senior project that we have to complete, and it's either a project or a community service. And I had been struggling with what I was going to do, and I was kind of throwing ideas around in my head. And I am an artist. I like to sing, and I play the guitar. And so my mom...
Wait, hold on. Tell me something you suck at. What are you bad at? You're so talented.
It's funny, my friends say the same thing.
It's almost intimidating, young lady. Okay, so you sing, you write, you play the guitar, and what did you do with all those gifts that you...
Well, my mom actually encouraged me to try and write a song, and it was just one night we were messing around with some music and stuff, and I ended up writing, and I just had a certain spree, I guess you could say, and I pounded out 5 songs in probably a couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Are they all with the same sort of theme? Are they all military
no.
theme? Or okay.
They're more fun and based off different things that I've either experienced or experienced.
Okay. Oh, I see. So you wrote these 5 different songs. It didn't matter what they were about, really, because they were just songs that came from you, and then you used those songs on a CD, and the proceeds you made from that CD is how you paid back. Gave back to the VFW.
Yes.
That's how that worked? Okay. Where do you go to record songs around here? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, actually, we have a family friend who lives up in, not Forest Meadows, Greeley Hill.
Okay.
And they actually happen to have a recording studio in their home. Mm-hmm. It's very, it's not a professional thing. Well, I mean, the studio's professional, but they don't. It's not a professional.
Yeah,
studio.
you didn't go through an agency or a business or anything. Okay.
But they are all musicians, their entire family, and they travel, and they're missionaries on the road, basically.
Okay.
And we just happened to have this strange opportunity, and I was able to record it with them. Wow.
Are you the only person who is playing music on it while you sing, or are there people playing in the background?
No, the producer, actually, I don't play the piano, and I did play guitar in some of it, but he did do a lot of other instruments on there, and I have, I think, backup in 2 songs.
Oh, that's so nice. All the participation, people who wanted to see you succeed, and make this work. Yeah. That's really cool. So what are your songs about on the CD?
Well, they're varying. I mean, the first one is, it's called Invisible, and it's just kind of about, like, being in the spotlight and, like, kind of feeling invisible, I guess you could say. And then my second one is called Mountaintop, and it's just about, like, letting go of, like, kind of the city life almost, and embracing, like, the open mountain air. Okay. And then the next one, I think it's the next one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the next one's called Cinderella. That one's actually, I actually based off my cousin. It was just something that popped into my head, and it's just it's kind of just like a little poppy song.
Cool.
And the girl with the golden hair, that one's actually about a mission trip I did when I was 8. I went to Kenya, Africa.
Oh. And you were the girl with the golden hair.
I was the girl. Everyone, all the kids there. I was the only one with blonde hair, and so everyone was touching my hair.
Wow.
And so that's kind of about that, and the things I experienced there.
Oh, neat.
And then the last one, Shadows, it's kind of about someone living on the street, so it's a darker contrast to some of my other songs.
Yeah. That's, and then you had one more on there?
It's my
and then
speech,
the last
actually.
is your speech.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Mm-hmm. That is a great idea. Okay, so you recorded this, you put this CD together. I don't even know where to begin with this kind of thing either. Like that is a lot of work that you put into this. Yeah, and so then every bit of money that you make from this goes back to the VFW, or a portion?
No, all of it goes straight back to the VFW once I'm done selling the CDs.
Oh. So it's only before a certain time period?
No, I'm going to continue selling them for a while, but I think after a certain checkpoint, I'll give them the money, and who knows, in the future I may add on to the album, and then I'll probably sell that for myself.
Sure, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful idea. Do you know which of the songs it is that we have here that we can play for everyone? Do you know which song they...
Well, actually, when they played on the radio was the first one. It's Invisible.
On the radio? Tell me about that real quick. You got on the radio?
Yes, it was promotional for the VFW, and it was helping. They agreed to do it.
The station in Sonora?
Yes.
Okay.
They agreed to help promote the CD and kind of get the word out there since it is for a good cause. And, so.
That's so great. Did you get to go to the studio and meet the people there?
I've been there before, but my dad was the one who went. I think I was unavailable at the time, but they just played the song and I think the speech.
They know a couple of the guys over there, like Big Joe,
yes.
Marsha and Bridget. Oh, they're awesome people. I know they would love to meet you if they haven't already. You would love them too.
They're very sweet.
They are, yeah. So Invisible is the song that we have. I believe we have that set to go, so you all can hear it. I'm excited to hear it myself. It's the first time. Do we have the song? There we go.
She's walking through the halls, running on hot coals, passing people, staring at her and looking straight through to the wall. Sitting in a crowd, she looks like everyone else, just another blank face, staring at the ceiling and pushing past to the clouds. She's invisible and she'll keep it that way. Invisible, and she'll keep it that way. She's invisible, invisible, invisible. He's standing in a line, getting shoved aside by people who can't wait and can only focus on the prize.
Wow.
Crouched behind the
I'm loving this.
He's been hiding from the
Is this something that you have felt yourself, or is it something that your friends have talked with you about? I mean, it's so deep.
Yeah, it's definitely personal. I mean, I was pretty shy for a while when I was younger, and so I've definitely felt this, and I've taken some inspiration from people around me.
Wow.
But yeah,
I cannot think of a teenager, or young person, or adults even, who would not be able to relate to this. This song. I love it. That's you singing.
yeah. I'm also doing harmony to myself. Yeah,
You are not.
I am. Yeah.
Gosh, I want to hear more of it.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of inspiration behind this album, and a lot of it was obviously off my own life, but yeah, it's definitely been a special process.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is this something that you want to do in the future as a career? Singing and performing?
I've definitely thought about it. As the song says, I'm not much for being in the spotlight. I've been thrown into it though recently, so who knows what God has planned for me.
Right.
But in college, I do plan to pursue music. Maybe not as a full career, but definitely at least as a hobby or something that may be related to a career.
Oh God, I hope you do. I hope you do. Oh, in fact, I think I have your whole life planned out. You're going to write speeches for the president. Oh. And then you're also going to do music and inspire and help all sorts of young people who are going through serious issues. There you go. The end. That's the plan.
The end.
I want to make sure that everyone sees this. So this is what the CD looks like. How can people go about buying this?
Well, I'm selling it personally, actually, at my school, but it's actually for sale in Sonora. My parents at my parents' vet clinic. It's called Sierra Veterinary Care. It's in Sonora, off not Monoway.
That's okay. People can look that up. Sierra Veterinary.
Sierra Veterinary Care.
Veterinary Care.
It's in Sonora.
Do you happen to know the phone number there, or you know what? Oh, your email address is on the screen, so people can contact you that way. And if anyone happens to be around Bret Hart, can they, the high school, can they pop in and ask about it?
Well, actually, school's over.
School's over. Oh my God, that's right. We're already halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're flying by. I just want to make sure that people can get this if they want it. So write to that email address there. Is it online any other way? Do you have a Facebook page?
It isn't yet, actually.
Okay.
It might eventually be on iTunes later, but for now, it's just as a hard copy.
Okay. All right. And how much is it?
I'm selling it for $7.
Awesome. That's a great price, and I hope that you sell a ton of them. Not just because I love, if that first song is any indication of what these other ones are like, they should all be out there. But also because I think it's a great idea that you wanted to give back to the VFW. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we have 1 minute left. That flew by.
Definitely.
I am so glad that you came. You came and you talked with our Angels Murphys Rotary like a month or so ago. I guess maybe it was longer than that. Like I said, time is just... So it happens when you're in your 50s. It's like, what? It's Thursday? But anyway, when you read your speech to us and we heard a little bit about you, you impressed every single person in that room. And I'm so glad that my little audience here, the people that watch this show, have been able to meet you and to hear your words and your song. Thank you so much. Yikes. Please come back sometime and fill us in on what you're doing. And I have to run. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras. That went by quick.